We're live. We are live. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Here we are today, Thursday, October 22nd. That's a little bit crazy, isn't it? God. Already, time is going by so fast. I hope you're doing okay. I know it's been a rainy week. It's raining again today. It's going to rain for another 2 days. Listen, we'll get through it, right? We keep our chin up. We talk to people, right? That's very, very important, right? Mental health. It's not quite 9 o'clock, so we're going to chit-chat about some of the stuff, right? So mental health is super important, guys. And whenever it's rainy or it's groggy or you're not feeling so great or you're tired, your mental health is super important. So it's really important to focus and communicate with people. Call somebody. Call a friend of yours, right? Talk to people. Yes, the little things you do on your own, watching the movie, these things, they help. Sure, they help. Reading a book, all these things help. But you don't realize how much talking to someone can help you, right? And how much being honest with that person, right? It's okay. You know, how many of you, and I'm going to say all of you, we're all guilty of it, that, you know, when someone calls and say, hey, how you doing? What do you say? You say, oh, I'm pretty good. How about you? I'm fine. I'm fine. How you doing? Even if you're not fine, right? We always say we're fine because we don't want to put the other person out by telling them our problems. But listen, if it is a true friend, I'm not just talking to someone you see in passing at a restaurant or something like that, or acquaintance or someone at work. They're just acquaintances. I understand that. But a real friend of yours, if they're asking how you're doing, be honest, guys. You know, if you're having a hard time, tell them, say, listen, you know what, I'm actually a little bit bummed out these days. Right? And watch them say, oh yeah, what's going on? And watch how they care. And that feeling of them caring is what will help you heal. Okay? One other thing before we start, I'm going to have to adjust the camera because I didn't realize, again, how tall I am. And you're cutting off the top of my head, I kind of look like Frankenstein. But in the spirit of Halloween, I guess it's not so bad. Speaking of Halloween, you're going to notice we have a little addition. A little spider web and a little spider in the center, which is disgusting. If I ever see a spider that big, I don't think it'll need to bite me. I will just die on the spot. But we're gonna add in little Halloween things here and there, right? So just a little something fun for you, because sometimes I talk a little bit long, and you can try to spot the new Halloween thing, right? So this is what's new. I'm letting you in on it. The rest of the stuff that's going to be popping in, who knows where, I'm not going to tell you, and you're going to have to tell me to see if you see it, all right? Because that'll be a fun little game. All right, I'm just going to adjust the camera a second so I'm not quite so Frankenstein. The struggles of live television here. Right? There we go. Just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Good. Now we're ready to go. It's 9 o'clock. Everybody's here. Are you hydrated? Coffee and, of course, the water. Water is extremely important, guys. I'm going to be doing a webinar in a week from now, or a week and a half, let's say. November 1st, Sunday, November 1st, we're doing a webinar. We're going to talk about nutrients and macronutrients, and not just why they're important, but exactly break it down so you know why you need it. Not just to say that you need it, but why do you need it? And this will help you understand our little webinar, okay? So we're going to do head to toe today. If you ever say, listen, Chris, why don't you mix it up, go toe to head, no problem, right? Just shoot me a message, let me know. All right? So here we go. We're going to start off with the neck because, again, with this rain, this is the time people get a lot more creaks in their neck. The dampness sets in, the barometric pressure is there, and we get a lot more stiffness. So we're going to really loosen up that neck, okay? So, again, we're bringing the chin forward, right, and down. So we're not, and remember, guys, you're not leaning forward. Shoulders are back, right? So we always start off. So this is correct posture, right? Which we're being at, okay? It's your correct posture. Now, bring the head forward and down. Right? Good. So what you're doing right now is you're stretching out the levator spinatus, which is going to keep your head up. Those are the muscles that run down the sides of your neck and into your back. All right, good. Now we're going to do one side. Again, you notice the whole head leans, right? We're not bending. I'm not bending my neck. I'm not doing this, right? Letting that whole thing, the whole head stretch. So it's going to pull all of this right here. Good. Right, so stretching out all of those trapezius. Very nice. Good. Now we're going to go a little bit more advanced, but I think we're there, okay? So a good way to do it, now I put the arms on the hips because it's going to help you align yourself, okay? So what you want to do is you want to turn your head and shoot for that spot right in that armpit, okay? That's why we don't want the arms down, right here. So you're coming right into that spot, okay? And you can do the same thing. The chin is going to move forward. So now you're stretching not just the upper trapezius, but now you're getting the lower trapezius. So you're going to feel it sort of in the top edge of your back up here, okay? That's where we want it. And we get a little visitor. A little stretch. Hold on, Winston. There we go. He's meowing at me. Come here, you bum. Come here. Come on. Hey? Hey? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look. This little baby. Look at this little baby. Look at him. Winston. People. Winston. Hey? Are you done being a little suck? I got work to do. Gosh. Little baby. Look. Why is a cat that you can hold like a baby? Look at this thing. It's ridiculous. You're ridiculous, you little suck. Alright? Now get out now. Lie down or something. Alright, and don't drink my coffee. Alright, now we're going to work on the shoulders. Okay, we're going to do our shoulder circles today, and then we're going to do another stretch afterward. It's totally going for my coffee, isn't it? Alright. Nice, now we go back. And again, never know what to do with the arms in this one, right? Whatever's comfortable, guys. But whatever you do with your arms, make sure that they're free to move, okay? Don't want to hold on to something, because holding on will lock that mobility, right? We want to be able to freely move it. So whatever you got to do. A little choo-choo train thing here. Good. All right. Perfect. Now we're going to do another stretch for the shoulder, and it's one that people have done, but often we do them incorrectly. So I want to make sure that we get them down right, because they're going to help you stretch it out. So one of the things we do when you have a tight shoulder and a little bit of shoulder pain, so you have tightness here and leading up into the shoulder, one of the good stretches you do is this thing, right? So you bring the arm across the body. But what a lot of people tend to do, right, is they'll just roll their shoulder over, you see, like this. So you see on my shoulder, now I'm putting pressure on the ball and socket, which you don't want to do, right? So you got to keep the shoulders back. So we're going to do this in a couple of stages. So first of all, why do I put my hand behind my elbow? Because if I'm pulling on my forearm, the tendency will be to bend my forearm. We don't want that, okay? So that's step one. Step two, you're going to keep the shoulders back, right? So we're not trying to roll and reach across our body, right? We're trying to stretch the shoulder, right? So you got to keep that shoulder straight. Now, if you're doing it right, you shouldn't have to go far to start feeling the stretch, right? So if you're really tight, you're probably going to start feeling it about here. And that's okay, because it's not a contest of how far you can reach. It's a stretch for your own personal body, right? So you keep going. Remember to keep those shoulders back, right? Now we get that stretch. Now from here, we relax. That's it. And if you lose the stretch on the relax, pull a bit more. And just hold it for a couple of seconds. Good. Just like that. All right, ready on the other side. Okay? Remember, shoulders are back. Okay? We're pulling so we feel the stretch on the arm. Relax. A little bit more if you need to. Good. Perfect. How'd that feel? Pretty good? Better? Worse? Good? Yeah, no? You want to try again? All right. Here we go. Okay. So remember, the goal is not to reach as far as you possibly can. The goal is to get the stretch while being aligned properly. If you do things incorrectly, you could put tension on the joints, and you don't want that. Nice and slow, right? And then we get there. Relax. Good. That's it. And a minor little pull. Very nice. All right. Other side. Here we go. Remember, shoulders back, right? So we're not reaching across. Shoulders back. Get that pull. Yeah, your shoulders are going to move a little bit. But what we don't want is we don't want the tension on the joint. We don't want you reaching so hard that your joint starts to hurt. Good. Doing great. All right. So now we're going to work on our chest and our back on what we refer to as the butterfly. Now the butterfly, listen, if it's a butterfly, it's probably the ugliest butterfly you've ever seen. But the theory is these are your butterfly wings, okay? That's the theory, all right? So we're going to open up the chest by bringing the arms back, right? So that's going to stretch out the chest. Now we're going to stretch out the back by bringing the arms forward, and you got to bring the elbows together, right? Not this, because this is not going to help stretch out those back. So you're going to see now my back, how the shoulder blades, the scapular rotation we're getting, and then we're stretching out that upper back. Good. All right. Remember, each time, once we get into position, breathe, we relax, we let it set in. Okay, here we go. We're going to try another one. Pull back. All right. And you're not pushing so far back that it's hard. Right? You got to be able to relax into the stretch. Good. And then forward. Right? So on the front side, we're getting here. Relax. Just like that. Perfect. Nice and easy. There you go. Perfect. Doing great. Now, we're going to get a little bit of rotation in the trunk, right? We want to encourage that spinal rotation and a little bit of mobility. So we're going to do something a little bit different. I know we often do the snake charmers, right, which is fun. We're going to do something slightly different, okay, just for those who have trouble, because there are some people who have trouble keeping their arms up like this, whether it be a shoulder impediment, bursitis, arthritis. These different things can affect your ability to hold your arms up. So we're going to do a couple of different alternatives, okay? So one would be with your hands on your hips. Now, your legs always have to be stable and supportive, right? Shoulder width apart is the general standard. You don't want to be too wide because then you could torque your knees a bit. And if you're too thin, you might have some balance issues, right? So shoulder width apart, perfect. And remember, guys, shoulder width is a little bit wider than we think, right? So we often think shoulder width is here. Now, if you look at where my shoulders are now, okay, so shoulder width. There we go. Good. Now, hands on the hip. We're going to turn. Now, you're not going to be squeezing, so you let your hands turn with you, right? But the key is that you don't pull the hips, right? The key is that the top of the body is where the movement happens. Keeping your posture. Keep those back straight. That's why the hands got to be here, because you're going to keep that back nice and straight. Just a couple of seconds each side. Relaxing with that stretch. Good. Now, another variation for those of you maybe a little bit more advanced. Okay? You can get your arms up in a little T motion. Now, this is the top portion of the warrior pose, which is actually a yoga position, which we do often on Fridays. But today, we're going to do just the top portion with a little bit more, so you get a little bit more stability on the bottom and just getting that rotation. So in this T, you're going to turn the top of the body, right? We're not turning the hips. We don't want that tension on the knee, right? We're just turning the top portion of the body. Once you feel those hips want to pull, that's where you stop. Let me hold it. On the other side. Good. Nice. So there you go. We've got all that stretched out already. How we feeling? You can leave comments and let me know which ones you guys prefer, because it's good to know on your end if you have trouble with them. First of all, if you love them, that's important, right? Because we want to enjoy when we work out, we stretch and all these things. We don't want it to be a miserable experience, because then you're just not going to do it, right? If I told you to put a nail through your hand every morning, you're not going to do it. You're just not, right? So let's make it an enjoyable experience. So let me know if you like any of these, all right? So lower back stretches, right? That lumbar region. Again, there's only a few ways to properly do it, right? And this one of the few times they'll let you bend that back. So you ready? Here we go. So remember, we're going to do this. We've done this a couple of times, but we're going to keep saying it until it's set in permanently, okay? We bend the knees slightly. We're not squatting. Slight bend to disengage the hamstrings. Perfect. We're going to use the hands to support our way down because we're going to keep that back straight. Good. Now, from here, then we're going to release and bend the back so that the lower back can stretch. And we come down and we let ourselves just hang. Deep breath to relax. Good. Now back up. Remember, the arms on the knees. Lift up those shoulders so we support that weight, and up we go. Great. That was perfect. See, we got it. Hydration. I never thought I'd be addicted to water. You know, it's crazy, but it's so good. It really, really is. I help with everything, right? And again, you'll see that webinar. You're going to see it all. Okay, here we go. Ready? Knees disengaged. Perfect. Keeping the back straight. We slide ourselves down. Good. From here, we're nice and stable, and we relax. Down here. Deep breath. And we let ourselves hang. And we let those muscles stretch out. We're not pushing down. Gravity's doing the work. We're just relaxing. Good. Now, hands on the knees. Bring those shoulders up. And up we go. Perfect. I mean, you guys are just champs. You're going to be pros at this soon enough. All right. Now, we're going to work on the quads. Again, I encourage the towel a lot because it allows you to relax into that stretch. A lot of times what we do is we force our foot up, right? And we're like doing this and we're bending over and it's all this uncomfortableness. So just get the towel. It's easier. You have nothing to prove, right? But what happens is it allows you to pull up and relax the front of that leg. So you're now not trying to reach for anything. The rest of your body is not working hard to pull on it. It's relaxed, and we're just stretching it up. And now we can get a little bit deeper for those of you who are better. All right, let's pull it back. Good. See, so the knee should be straight. But if your knee is straight and you got no pull, you just send it back. Keeping that back straight though, right? Good. And yes, I'm holding on. Why I'm holding on? I don't want the rest of my body to have to work to do the exercise. Right? I want to be able to get just the stretch on. Because remember, you got to relax into the stretch. So if you can't relax, what are you going to do? Right. Exactly. Nice. And that's it. See? It doesn't have to be a long time. All right. Now, we're going to work on the hamstrings because the hamstrings, again, they're so incredibly important. It's hard to stress how important the hamstrings are. You're going to notice when you do them right, you're going to feel tension, obviously the length of the top part of the leg. But you're going to feel it right down to your toes if you get in a deep stretch, right? It just tingles all the way down. Because a lot of nerves run down there. right? Sciatica, all that stuff, it's all connected to this, right? So if you want to eliminate pain, essentially from your lower body down, so like just above here, just a little bit above the waist, down, you have to handle those hamstrings. Otherwise, you're gonna have achy legs, you're gonna have circulation issues, you can have problems with your feet, right? This will literally affect from the waist down. So we gotta really get these in, okay? So best way to do it, again, something stable. You can be a hot shot and not need one, right? Right, so you can do it like this. Like I can do that, that's fine. But if you can't, it's important that you do it up against something. Why? Because it's important that you can relax into the stretch. So if this, it requires a whole lot of concentration to keep yourself stable, you're not going to be focused on the stretching. Okay? So you're not showing off. Let's do it this way to get it in right. Better do it right than to show off and get it wrong, right? So here we go. Now we lean forward. Good. Now, again, if you're feeling the length of starting from here, connected to here, the most of the stretch is there, and then as it sets in, tingling is going to happen. If you're feeling it more in the knee, your toe is too high. You got to bring it down. Okay? There we go. Back straight. Back straight. That's it. There you go. Now you got it. Perfect. And we relax, right? We're not pushing against it. We're relaxed into this. Good. Now we're going to take a second on the next one to concentrate on the relaxing. You're going to see the moment where your body relaxes. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Back straight. Now we bend down. Okay, so now you feel like you're into the stretch. But if you focus, you will notice your knee is clenched. And your quads are clenched. Right? Natural. It's called the stretch reflex. Good. So you got to try to release that. Now you've relaxed in the stretch, right? So the stretch reflex is a buildup of kinetic energy. Right? That's why when you're sitting in the doctor's office, you bend your knee and he taps you and you kick him. Right? All right. I don't know about you guys. Sometimes as a kid, I think I may have over-exaggerated just to get a shot in on him. But, right, so you have a stretch reflex. So the same thing happens here. Even though you're stretching the back of the leg, right, the front of your leg now is activating because it doesn't know that it's not holding you up, right? It just knows that there's tension here. Other things need to react. Right? For all your leg knows, you could be standing on the edge of a cliff. So it's getting ready to hold you up. Right? So we got to get here, and then we relax that stretch reflex. There we go. Just like that. Perfect. Right? So that also encourages the coordination. Right? That mind to muscle connection is important. Right? Because now we know how to focus. We get there, you're feeling that tension, relax it. Good. Relax that stretch reflex. Perfect. Good job, guys. Doing great. All right, so now we're going to work on the calves and, of course, the ankles. All right? So, calf stretch. Again, calf is one of those few muscles that only moves in one direction. Okay, so a lot of times stretching, you see people doing a whole lot of complicated stuff, right? So there's there's actually a few types of stretches, but there's static stretching, which means you're standing and holding a position. And there's dynamic stretching, which means you're moving. So our shoulder circles, right? These guys, those are dynamic stretches, right? So you're moving through the stretch, okay? But there's compound stretches too. So stretches that involve a whole lot of different muscles. And there's other ones that isolate the muscles, right? Usually when you're stretching, you want to isolate as much as you can just to make sure that you're stretching the right spot. Once you become a pro at this, so that's why Friday we're a little bit more advanced, we do a lot of the compound stretches. Once you're really good at it, and you have that good mind to body connection, like I was describing with the tension in the leg, then you can go into more advanced stuff, right? But until we're there, we really got to take our time. So all that to say, your calf really only does one thing. It contracts and it extends, right? So we want to stretch it out in basically the only version of a calf stretch. Right now, you can do this anywhere. You've done this since you were a kid in school. You can do it up against the wall. You can do it freestanding like me. Now, what you can't do is have something out of reach that you bend for. That is not allowed, right? You need to be straight. So if you need to reach, you got to step forward. So you can keep that nice line going, okay? Perfect. Get that nice deep stretch. There we go. Turn it around, other side. Right. I pivot in place. You can switch legs, doing it in the same direction. Right, I'm just getting fancy. Actually, I'm doing it so I can keep the leg that I'm stretching on the outer side so you can see better. But, I mean, you can literally just do this, right? You don't have to turn around like me. All right, you want to do another one? Okay, because the calf is one of those ones that we don't notice is tight and always feels great when we stretch it. If ever you notice, guys, you're going to stretch your calf out, right? You're going to get into that position. You're going to feel that stretch. And then as you relax into it, your body's just going to be like, oh, yeah, I love this. This feels so good. Like you don't realize it's tight until you start to stretch it like, oh, my goodness. So this is one that feels really good. Nice. There we go. To the side. There we go. Now remember, if you're doing this freestanding, guys, make sure you're stable, okay? So you have stabilizing muscles that run on the insides of your legs. Sometimes you hurry into a spot and whoops. Make sure you solidify yourself, right? And then you get into it. Because we're not hurrying. It's not a race. I mean, listen, we're at this for 20, 25 minutes. Not a race. Good, perfect. All right, last one going to be our ankle circles. Now, we're going to pin that toe down this time. And like we did yesterday, we're going to go slow. And move that heel. Concentrate. Big circle. Let's do 5. There you go. Other way. Right? Because sometimes we tend to hurry these things. We rush them. Good. Other side. And again, you hold on. Why? Not because you can't do it standing up. But you want to focus on what you're doing. So you don't want the rest of your body to have to work extra hard just to keep you standing up. Because then you won't focus on what you're doing. You're going to focus on standing. Right? Your first instinct is to keep you from falling over. Whoa, 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 right? It's going to be tough to concentrate on that ankle when you're doing that. So you hold on. And then the rest of your body can just chill out while you focus on what you're doing. Remember, guys, stretching is not quite the same as exercise. So it's super important. Flexibility is extremely important. Right? But you're not there to tax yourself, right? You're not there, it's not there to make you tired or to build down your muscles so they can regenerate stronger or anything like that. No. It's about relieving you of pain, stress, and adding mobility. So there's no pressure to elevate yourself into some kind of yoga god, right? It's to give yourself flexibility. Good. Perfect. Great. So listen, you did the whole thing head to toe. I hope you're feeling nice and stretched out right now. As I know it's a little bit long today. It's half an hour. It's mainly because I'm chatty. That's the reality of it. So I hope you have a good day. Don't let the rain get you down. Like I said, talk to people. You got a lot of people who like you out there, and they want to help you. So I'm going to come over here from my awkward sign off. And have yourself a good day, everybody.